take a seat on your mats. Sit in any way that feels best for you, nice and tall through the spine. Take a moment to check in with yourself, with the breath. Continuing to work with these words of gratitude from Morgan Harper Nichols. I hope you do not feel like you shouldn't be able to talk about how difficult it is to wait and trust in the process. Please do not let anyone make you feel like you are automatically ungrateful just because you are struggling to see where the light pours in. Yes, a daily practice of gratitude is incredibly valuable to your well-being, but it does not mean that you have to pretend you are immune to the strong emotions that come with waiting. Learning to trust in the process is about learning to trust that there is so much happening beneath the surface, beneath the layers of worries, doubts, and long lists of things you have not figured out. There's endless, boundless grace that gives you room to feel what you need to feel while also moving forward one step at a time. Let this be what you're grateful for, the opportunity to keep going, to keep trying, to keep waking up each morning knowing that even if you didn't have the best start, or even if the failures of yesterday still seem to haunt you, you are free to try again. You are free to trust and embrace the process of learning every lesson you need to learn, that you know is only going to prepare you for whatever lies ahead. Nod the chin down to the chest and rock the head from side to side. Notice where it's easy to rock. Notice where it's tighter and more tension. We need both. Leave right ear over towards the right shoulder. Extend left fingertips out to the side, just barely grazing the ground. If you'd like, add the opposite hand on top of the ear. Then retract the hands. Roll the chin to the other side. And repeat. Bring the hands back down again, chin to the chest. Both hands lightly behind the head and push the head into the hands so that you find a nice stretch from the top of the spine leading down to the tailbone. That connection of strength on the front side of the body, drawing the abdomen stronger. And release. Lift the head. As you blink the eyes open, welcome everybody. Come on over to all fours. Place the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Just nice and easy as we take it into our movement this morning. Cat and cow, back and forth. Maybe shift a little side to side, whatever feels nice here. And from cat and cow, go to downward facing dog. Today's practice focuses on sun salutations as well as some seated stretch on the mat. We'll weave our core and balance work throughout. And take a look to your hands and walk forward like little steps. Walk it all the way up to the front of the mat till you're hanging over in ragdoll pose. In ragdoll pose, bend the knees so that you can most easily drape the upper body. Hold on to the elbows, sway a little bit from side to side. Half a breath or two out. And then roll it on up to standing. Shoulders roll up and back a couple of times. And forward and down. Lift just the right arm up to the sky. And then lean over to the side. Hold on to your right wrist and round the whole body, almost like you're doing cat pose here, standing. And then release, come back to your neutral position and lift the left arm up. Drag it over to the side. And then right hand holds on to the left wrist. And do a little bit more of a rounded back. Release, come back to your neutral. Stand in that for an extra breath. Sun salutation A. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down against your mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Take about 3 breaths here. Next, inhale, look in between the hands. Step or jump your way forward. Inhale, half lift and forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Do this 2 more times to warm up the flow of the body. Get our brain online with the movement as well. Half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat against your mat. And peel the chest up for cobra. And then downward facing dog. Look to your hands. Move forward. Inhale, half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, arms to the sky. And palms in front of this chest. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to plank. Lower down. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Breathe there. All right, a little bit different here. Remember those bunny hops we've done a bit? Lift up to your heels, or lift the heels off of the ground. You're on the tips of the toes. First stage is bend and straighten the legs. Feet staying on the mat. Or instead of the bend and straighten, you take a hop and land back down. Either way, take about 5 jumps this first time. Feet staying on the mat or off of the mat. Some explosive work in the legs, but we're looking for this to build core strength as well. Reason it's been in the practice all month. All right, come on forward to your hands again. Step, walk, or jump. Inhale, half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Couple of breaths here. Notice how much that lifts the heart rate right away. Good stuff in there. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Today we're going right into the lunge from here. So keep the right foot forward. Step your left foot back into a low lunge. Add a twist, right hand up to the sky. Get just one action in the lunge at a time. So hand down, step back to plank. Instead of cobra, try one push-up here. Down and up. And then downward facing dog. And step the left foot through to your lunge. Keep right hand down. Lift the left arm up. Lower the left hand down, step back. Add in your push-up from the toes or from the knees. And downward facing dog. 3 bend and straighten or bunny hops. 1. 2. Keep the arms straight in each iteration. 3. And come all the way forward. Half lift. And fold. Utkatasana. Stand up. Palms to the chest. We do it all over again. Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. This time start with the left foot forward, so half lift. Left foot stays forward, step the right foot back. Bring both hands to your front thigh, come all the way upright in the torso. Hands at the waist. Really square off the hips, think left hip back, right hip forward in space. Stand tall, stay steady with it, nothing extra here. One more breath. Then place the hands as flat as you can and slip the front foot back into plank pose. Push up, downward facing dog. Right foot forward to the lunge. Again, feet hip distance apart. Walk the hands to the front thigh, then torso upright, and hands to the waist. We're so used to adding things, I want you just to stay with this. Right hip back, left hip forward. Really tall spine. Navel towards the spine, tailbone straight down to the floor. Lower the hands, step back. Add in the push-up. Go to downward facing dog. The last of the bunny hops right here. Hold your down dog, add the bend and straighten, or add the hop off of the ground 3 times. Come forward, feet in between the hands. Half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Stand up. Take in the breath, the body. And we just keep trying. Gratitude to keep on going. Again, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. This time, right foot stays forward. Step the left foot back into your lunge. Spin the back heel down. Walk both hands to the inside of your foot. We're going for no-handed lunge. So with your feet in the shape of warrior one, hips, shoulders more towards the front edge of the mat. Interlace your hands behind the back. Squeeze your elbows towards each other. That'll help to lift the upper arm bone. Head of the shoulder. Try to keep that and then make the arms straighter and send your head down to the mat. Squeeze the heel of the hand together to make that clasp stay a little tighter. And then release the hands either side of the front foot. So you pick up the back heel, slide back to plank pose, and add side plank. Balance on your left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Right foot can stack or step forward. Take the right arm up for side plank. You're here for 3 breaths. Try to take each breath slow. Go back to full plank. Nicely done. Lift the hips in dog pose. Step the left foot forward. Spin the back heel down so the toes rotate about 70 degrees in to face the front corner of the mat. Both hands to the inside. So this is where down dog lunge usually takes us, except we're making it a little more complicated with the arms. Again, interlace behind the back. I've done this all from a down and forward position. You can do it from an upright position as well, a little bit more doable. Interlace the hands, straighten the arms. If it works, head down towards the inner ankle of the left foot. Still work to square the hips more towards the front, which will help push your weight into the back foot. Release the hands, step back to plank. Side plank, right hand, outer edge of the right foot. I always lift the hips as high as I can. As you move into the side plank, they're naturally going to fall some as you come into the pose. So give them the highest height that you can to start it out. And keeping that weight pulled up and back as much into the legs as possible. It means your shoulder and your wrist don't have to stabilize and hold as much effort. And that's a good thing. We go back to full plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. No more hops unless you really just want to add them. But I'll ask us to stay steady right here in downward facing dog for a few breaths. Where does your light pour into this pose, this moment? And we keep on rolling. Look towards the hands. Come on forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Stand up. Greet your heart, palms together, center of the chest. Greet your intention, your presence. All right, this time, stand tall, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Move through the vinyasa here, so lower down to the mat. Cobra. Downward facing dog. And we'll add on from here. Lift the right leg up into the sky, three-legged dog. Bend your knee, open the hip. So point the right knee more towards the sky, the left toes over towards the left side of the mat. I'm sorry, your right toes towards the left side of the mat. Now pull the knee into the chest and hover forward in plank. We did this on Sunday's yoga hour class. Take the knee out to the side and then cross under and try to tap the left elbow. And do it 2 more times. Knee out to the side, cross under, try to tap the elbow. Knee out to the side, cross under and tap, and then step the foot all the way through. Big ask. Come on upright. High lunge, arms to the sky this time. Warrior 2, spin the back heel down so the whole body opens to the long edge of the mat. Extend the arms in either direction and gaze out over the front fingertips. From here, heel, toe, your back foot in, 1 or 2 steps, and then straighten the right leg so that we can go into triangle pose. Right arm down, left arm up to the sky. From triangle pose, we'll close things off to the ground for pyramid pose. So simply place the right hand on the outside of the foot instead of the inside. And then lower the top hand down to the inside of the foot. Your hips are open to the side here. Heel toe your foot in 1 more time. And as you do that, turn the toes more forward towards your right foot so that the hips start to square off. You're trying to get the weight and push into the back leg here. And then wherever you've landed right now in pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana, keep the legs, right hand to the outside of the right foot, and lift the left arm back up to the sky. Come all the way up, so take some core strength to lift back upright. Heel toe the foot out and land into Warrior 2. Playing with those subtle changes. Cartwheel the hands down, step back to plank. Lower to the mat, peel the chest up for cobra. And again, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg into the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. So toes towards the right side, knee faces straight up. Hold it there. Work your breath. And then change, knee to chest, hover forward. Think shoulders right over the back of the wrist. Most of the weight, though, in your finger pads to hold this. And then knee out to the side, cross under. Try to tap the right elbow out to the side and tap. One more time, out to the side, tap, and step the left foot through to your low lunge. Come up to high lunge. Arms up. So through these changes, warrior two now. Really think of holding steady in the core. Okay, triangle pose. So heel toe the back foot in just a little bit so your stride is slightly shorter than where it was for warrior two. Lean to the left, fingertips down, right hand high. Okay, all of these little changes. Take the hand to the outside of your foot. Keep legs as straight as you can, but lower the right hand down. Pinky toe, a big toe side of the foot. And then slide the back toes so they face more forward, which should end up turning the hips as well. Parsvottanasana. If you want this pose to be even more challenging, hands to the waist, so that you have to use that extra sense of balance, stability in the core. And then we open it back to triangle. Right hand goes high. Stand up. Warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down around the front foot. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Lift for cobra. And downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step or jump all the way forward. Inhale, half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. One more sun salutation. We take it back to the original. Sun salutation A. Lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step to plank. Lower to the mat. Cobra. Downward dog. If you're ever coming to your mat without the video and thinking, what should I do today? Start the practice with several rounds of that sun salutation and just see where that leads you. Look forward to the hands, step or jump. Feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the heart. Such a nice ritual and its repetition. Indeed, it is a whole practice in and of itself. Okay, transition to sit down onto your mat. No fancy way to get there, just have a seat. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Seated forward folds with your legs straight out. Flex the feet, point toes, knees up. For this one today, I want you to drape your upper body. Think the same kind of draping that you might do in that ragdoll pose that we always practice at the beginning of class. Let the breath go. And if the legs can stay straight and you can hold first two fingers and thumb around the big toe, do that. If the hands are not reaching your big toe with straight legs, easy peasy, just bend the knees so that you can. The point of the pose is to hold your big toes, not to have your legs straight. All right, and then from there, lift your right leg up off of the mat, trying to keep hold of your big toes. And lower the right leg down, lift the left leg up. It's called archer pose. Like bow and arrow, pull back, and then lower it down. Come all the way upright in the torso and lie down onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest as you do so. Left foot goes flat on the mat. Stretch your right leg up to the sky. Hold behind your thigh, the calf, or the big toe. Do try to make your right leg pretty darn straight. Let the breath keep you heavy, kind of back pinned to the mat, if you will. To open this up a bit further, make the left leg flat along the mat instead of the sole of the foot. And then take the right leg out to the right side. Still holding anywhere along the leg that makes sense to you. Come back to the center. Lower both legs. Pull your knees back into the chest. And then stamp right foot flat down on the mat. Extend the left leg up. Start with that sole of the right foot. This makes the concentration, the stretch into the top leg, easier to come by. And then a little added challenge, extend the right leg down so the heel is on the ground instead of the sole of the foot. Legs straight. That adds in the game of the hip flexor on that right leg. You'll notice how you have to stabilize and stretch a little differently. Let's take the left leg out to the side. One thing I love about supine stretches, I can succinctly get out of my head and just be heavy in the body through the stretch. Bring the leg back around to the center and lower the leg down to the ground. Anything standing, you're having to do some balance and stabilization work on a much bigger scale. Keeps our attention, our awareness, our brains turned on. Not a bad thing, but it's also nice to just relax it out. Stretch the arms overhead, big full reach. Come up to boat pose. So rock your torso upright, hold underneath the knees, find your balance point. Keep the legs bent or straight and extend the arms out. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you set the feet down, come to a straddle position. So legs wide. I like to sit at the back end of the mat and stretch the legs out towards each long edge at the front end. Just like in seated forward fold, we want to flex the feet and have the toes and knees pointed straight up to the sky. Your tendency might be to roll in or out. Try to go neutral there. At the very beginning, we lifted one arm and stretched to the side. Do that again here. And instead of grabbing hold of the wrist, take the top hand. Can you hold on to your shin or the foot and pull back like that cat curl? And then come all the way back upright. Reach the other hand up to the sky. Lean over to the side first. Good. And then look at your foot. Hold on to the lower leg or the foot. And try to kind of curl the back, round the back, away from the foot. Gets into a nice full stretch in the lats. All right, and then we come back up to our center. Hold your hands somewhere so that they can't touch the ground. Imagine that your pelvis is a bowl that you're tipping forward and then upright, forward and upright. Press down through your heels, down through the back of the thighs. Knees can have a little lift away from the mat. Keep the bowl rocked forward and then lower the hands, forearms perhaps to the ground. Try to keep the back of the thighs and the heels as much as possible on the mat. If you have tighter hamstrings, tightness in the low back, you might bend the knees here to bring more ease and relief. And then build yourself back upright. I'm going to stay seated this morning, but you could lie back down to the mat to take in the last 2 minutes, the pause, the mini shavasana prior to our close. So any last unwinding, any last movement. And whether you choose to lie back or to stay upright, find a bit of stillness. If you chose to lie back here, slowly take your time to come back upright. Once we are upright, chin to chest, take a very slow head roll around. About 2 times in the first direction and 2 times in the second direction. If it doesn't feel great to extend the head back, of course don't. I often just rock more side to side. And then bring the palms together as we do throughout practice, ending here as well, just greeting the intention, the space for gratitude within us, within each other. A way of sending that energy forward. I end in the sound of Om, sing along, listen, or tune it out. Empty the breath. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.